Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. What up? It's your boy and welcome to episode 100. We have reached a milestone. We are officially at episode 200. Welcome to episode 300. Let's kick off episode 400. We made it, y'all. Welcome to episode 500. We made it! 500! Hey! Woo! What up? What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And to my Thursday morningers, what up? We have made it. We only are 1 day away from the weekend. And as you can tell, I'm excited. All right, before that, we got a show to do. I have 4 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about victim number 3 in the Diddy case, who is still nowhere to be found. Not even her lawyer knows where she is. Diddy's new black female lawyer could win him the case. She is a survivor of SA and the R word. We have a list of every single celebrity that is named in the Diddy trial and why they are mentioned. Smokey Robinson is being accused of SA and the R word by 4 former housekeepers. He is being sued for $50 million. In quick Diddy news, the judge says that he's going to be listening to Mark Geragos' podcast very carefully. And in our regular quick news, we're going to talk Kanye West, Piers, Shedeur Sanders, Burna Boy, and Halle Bailey. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start episode 500. Let's go. All right, you guys, before we kick off episode 500, I just wanted to thank everybody for all of their comments and questions in episode 499. You already started to wish me happy 500th episode, so thank you right away for that. For those who missed it, I asked all the out louders to give me a question that I can answer in episode 500, because every 100 episodes, I like to get personal and tell you guys more about me. So it will be in comments of the day. Enjoy the show. Just know that all your questions, I tried to get every single one of them, will be answered in comments of the day. But I just wanted to thank you guys so much for already wishing me happy 500th episode and for giving me all the questions. I'm really excited about that. But we have a show to do, so let's do that, and then we'll pick this up in comments of the day. I love y'all. Out louders! Our first lead story. Prosecutors in Diddy's case are under pressure to get victim number 3 to testify in court. They can't find her. Okay, I'm not too sure if it was Tuesday or Monday's episode, but we told you about this headline about the prosecution not being able to find victim number 3. I'm going to read a quick paragraph to give you guys an update. But when we told you guys about this, we told you that we heard from sources that it's just not, oh, she's not showing up. It's really like there's something fishy going on. We did some investigation. I have a little bit more information and I'll tell you guys about it. All right. So for those who missed it, I'm going to give you a quick little refresher. Federal prosecutors are under pressure relating to one of the star witnesses in the Diddy trial because they revealed in court today they may not be bringing an alleged victim into the courtroom to testify. The alleged victim in question is a woman, and the feds revealed Monday the woman does not live close to New York City where the trial is being held, and they say she's told the court she might not even show up despite being subpoenaed. Prosecutors claim they have difficulty contacting the woman and her attorney, and the judge asked lead prosecutor Maureen Comey if the prosecution planned to drop the woman's name in opening statements. Comey said the prosecution would not be getting into the woman's story until the second part of the trial, and during opening statements, the woman would be described as one of the many women who have allegedly been SA'd and R-worded by Diddy. Okay, so what I have found out, and this is all alleged, is that this is blowing up in the background. Like, this is a big, huge issue for the prosecution. The police are actually actively looking for her. There's an open investigation into where she is. Her lawyer doesn't know where she is. Family and friends don't know where she is. And what I've heard allegedly is that they're actively looking into Diddy and his associates to know if he had any part in it. And if they do, they're going to add charges on to Diddy. Now, this is just the beginning. I'm not saying they're going to add the charges in the next day or so, but there is an active police investigation. They're trying to keep it like very under wraps, but people have been questioned in Diddy circle. That's the only reason why I know about it. They're questioning and asking. If you guys remember, the reason why Diddy didn't get bail is that he was in jail on the phone calling people like Don Richards, who we're going to talk about in a few stories from now. And they were saying that he was badgering people already from MDC. This is the reason why they were like, hey, we can't find this star key witness. And they're looking into Diddy. Now, what else I've heard is that a lot of people are very, very focused on Cassie, of course, because Cassie, she had the civil suit and that's the only civil suit that he paid. And also there is the CNN video. But what else I heard is that this victim number 3, this one is actually supposed to be the bombshell witness that is like the surprise, the back pocket that nobody knows about. And this is supposed to be the witness that takes it over the edge for the jury. Now, if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, or even just last week, we told you that the prosecution is not putting out the name of the victim 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so Cassie's going to testify, and the 3 are going to be named Jane Doe. The reason why they're naming them Jane Doe is because they have such a powerful testimony that they don't want the public to find out, and they want to try to keep things under wrap. Of course, Diddy and his team know. But the fact that we don't know, who cares? It's really about trying to hide it from Diddy, but legally they cannot hide it. Diddy has to know who he's facing. So craziness that's going on behind the scenes. The prosecution was, of course, freaking out, but now that they're looking into Diddy and the fact if they find anything that he had to do it, that he scared her off, that he paid her off, or worse, and I've seen you guys in the comment section already with the worst, I don't have to say it. Who knows if she'll turn up, how she'll turn up, what state she'll turn, like it could just be crazy. So I wanted to follow up. There is an active police investigation to find victim number 3 and to look and see if Diddy or Diddy's associates had anything to do with it. And if they find anything, you could just forget about this trial. It's done for Diddy. If they find any facts, it will be over. So I will follow up and I'll let you guys know as soon. I'll even do a special podcast. Look out for that. If I find out anything more, I'm actually expecting a call in the next couple of hours about this. We'll try to stick it into breaking stories. If not, I'll do a special podcast about it if we find anything, but it's time sensitive, right? So anyways, we'll look into this and let you guys know. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Our second lead story, Diddy's new lawyer says she survived SA and the R word in 2001. All right, I think we told you guys about this yesterday in our breaking news segment, and I was like, okay, I'll tell you guys about it quickly, and I'll do some research, and we'll follow up today. Here is the follow-up to this, and please pay attention, because I have reason to believe that this lawyer might be the reason why Diddy beats this case. Now, I don't want him to beat the case. I know most of you don't want him to beat the case, and the more and more that I look into this case and I do research, because that's what I'm doing literally morning, noon, and night, I feel like Diddy is a sick, sick man. Regardless if he broke the law or not, that's what we'll find out. But even if he didn't break the law, he's still sick. However, this defense lawyer who he hired is probably the most brilliant move the defense team has done. Remember I told you guys on Monday and Tuesday, yes, I'm going to report everything that's going on, but what I'm going to try to do that's different on my show is I'm going to try to highlight little nuances, because when you have a trial by jury, it's all about the nuances. Yes, the evidence is important, but you're talking to 12 human beings that have eyes, that have feelings, that see, that are just like me and you. And when you go into a situation, you look and you judge, you stereotype, and that's just the way the world works. That's why we are judged by a jury of our peers. Now, keeping that in the back of your mind, I'm going to read to you some details about Diddy's new lawyer, and then I'm going to explain to you why I feel and other experts feel like this is one of the best moves the defense has done since this trial has begun, okay? So, Nicole Westmoreland, actually, sorry, before I even read this, I forgot to tell you. Listen carefully to her story. This is why I'm reading it. And let me know if it sounds familiar. I'm sure you're going to figure out why this is the best move, even before I'm done the article. Just listen. Nicole Westmoreland, the newest lawyer on Diddy's team, is a survivor of SA because she was allegedly R-worded back in 2021. I don't like how they wrote allegedly because it's not alleged. She actually had a court case, so that is wrong. It's not alleged. She was R-worded. The powerhouse attorney who officially joined Diddy's team this morning was just 19 years old back in 2001 when she worked for a company that helped people reinstate suspended driver's license. According to Westmoreland, Brian Williams, vice president of Cash Money Records, keep that in the back of your head, and a man named Stone met her and asked her to make a sales pitch to the company at a recording studio in Atlanta. One night, Westmoreland says she and 3 female friends went to the recording studio where a large gathering was taking place. According to Westmoreland, a man named Alfred Cleveland was there, and she says he was a friend of Ronald Williams, the president of Cash Money Records, and Brian's brother. During that evening, Westmoreland says she went to use the restroom, and Cleveland offered to show her where it was. Westmoreland says Cleveland got into the bathroom and R-worded her. She claimed another man came to the door, during which Cleveland allegedly told him to keep guard and then allegedly tried to pass her off to him. But Westmoreland says she begged him not to and he let her go. Westmoreland later says that she was threatened about going to the police, but she did anyways, and Cleveland was arrested and charged with the R word. He ultimately pled guilty. Of course, Diddy is being accused of SA and the R word by numerous people, with many civil cases against him pending. Okay, now I'm sure you guys can figure out where I'm getting to here, but in case you don't, let me just tell you the first comment underneath this article. Let me read this to you. She's actually a survivor who went to the authorities as soon as the R word happened, despite the predator threatening her and being linked to powerful people. She's there to prove that his victims are lying. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying that his victims are lying. What I am saying is that she is a representation. Westmoreland, Nicole Westmoreland, Diddy's new lawyer, black female lawyer. She is a representation of what you should do if you're ever in these situations. Now, again, everyone's situation is different. Every circumstance is different. And it's not, nobody should be, should be made to feel guilty or made to feel wronged if they don't report it right away. I just want to make that very clear. However, every single victim that the prosecution puts on that stand to testify against Diddy is a female, and they have been in the same situation as Nicole Westmoreland. So when Nicole is cross-examining these victims, without even saying anything, the jury is looking at a black female who is in the exact same situation. You cannot get more exact. Cash Money Records, a hip-hop label, Baby, Lil Wayne, Baby's brother, his friends. That's every single thing that she went through at 19. Every single one of these victims went through, and she reported it to the authorities. And one of Diddy's charges is, hey, we told you that we were going to be threatening. We told you that if you go to the authorities, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And she still went ahead. Indirectly, she's a representation of, hey, why did this happen 15 years ago? And now you're just talking to us about it. And not only that, how come after it happened, did you go back? I was in your same situation. I didn't go back to the studio again that night. I didn't keep calling Diddy, and Diddy's defense team is going to show text messages. They're going to show videos. They're going to show all of these victims hanging out and partying with Diddy for years after these alleged freak-offs and these alleged threats and all of these things happen. Again, just want to make it clear, not saying that she is more right and they are more wrong, but to a jury of human beings, they're going to look and be like, here's an example and here's an example. Which one am I going to believe? It is such a brilliant move by Diddy's defense team. Now, let me tell you another thing that I heard. I heard that she was on Diddy's team for months in the background and nobody knew. And this was just a late addition to kind of rock the prosecution. It's the same way how you, like in sports, where it's like, oh, this athlete is on the injured reserve list. I don't know if this person is going to play. You prepare your offense and your defense, and you prepare your team for what you think the other team is going to do. So you're like, okay, this is how Mark Geragos is. This is how Brian Steele is. This is how this person. They research the same way how the Diddy's defensive team is researching all these prosecutors. You go back and watch film. How did they cross-examine? How did they do this? Nicole just being a last-minute addition to the prosecution and opening statements are on Monday. Amazing, amazing, amazing move. The last thing that I heard, Diddy is paying her very handsomely. Let's just put it that way. Like, she is not the lead attorney, but she's getting paid probably more than the lead attorney. Some people don't like that because some people are like, oh, well, she's kind of like selling her story. And I understand why people are saying that ish. But let's say she was never a lawyer or she was never involved in cases like this, and then she just came on. Like, let's say she was a prosecutor and then, sold herself out for how many ever millions and then became a defense attorney. But she's been a defense attorney for the past 15 years. She's worked on other artists' defense. If I'm not mistaken, it's either A$AP Rocky or Young Thug. So she has been defending people in the music industry already, and her background has already been known. So I don't like that suggestion that she's using her past and she's selling her past to Diddy so it can help him. Like, I don't feel like that's fair because there's never been an indication that she's that type of person. She's a powerhouse, amazing top tier lawyer. And she knows that Diddy has been looking for months for a black female lawyer to be on his defense team. And he got pretty much the best one in the United States of America. She just so happens to have gone through exactly to the T, no different than every single one of the victims. It's amazing. So just to recap, Diddy's defense team has a black male lawyer, a black female lawyer, a white female lawyer, a white female, female lawyer, and a male female lawyer. He has both genders and both races. I think that's such a good strategy because we're all human beings. If they were going up against AI, I'd say none of this matters, but they are preying on the emotion of the jurors, and the jurors are all Manhattaners, New Yorkers. Like, this is who they see every day, day in and day out. And the prosecution is 6 white women. It comes across a very, very different dynamic. Anyways, this is explosive, if you ask me. I'm very interested to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Sound off. All right, our third lead story. All right, on yesterday's show, again, in the breaking news, we told you about the celebrities that are going to be listed. We ran them off quickly, but because it was in our quick breaking segment, we told you we'd follow up on that today. So I have a little bit more information. Michael B. Jordan, one of the ones that most people are talking about, the actor previously dated Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie. When Cassie sued Diddy in November 2023, her relationship with Jordan was referred in the lawsuit. Diddy and Cassie settled that lawsuit out of court, and Diddy denied all her allegations. So maybe there might be something along the lines. From what I've heard, he's not going to be testifying, but he might be brought up, kind of like how the Kid Cudi is brought up, where maybe they found out that Diddy did something to him in the background, or maybe there's a text message or somebody, him trying to block him in Hollywood is allegedly kind of like what I'm hearing. And if they have any evidence of that, it's just once again showing how controlling Diddy is. And when Cassie tried to break up, she went out with Kid Cudi, which we're going to tell you about soon. Diddy was doing stuff to him. Allegedly, they might come out in court that that Diddy did something to Michael B. Jordan. From what I'm hearing is like he's tried to stop him getting a movie role or something. But from what we know now, Michael B. Jordan won't be involved in testifying from what we know for now, okay? Mike Myers, which I have tried to find out, nobody knows. One quick article I found is Myers' inclusion on the list remains a mystery, but USA Today noted that there is a reference to Diddy in one of the comedian's Austin Power movies. Now, if the prosecution brings up Mike Myers and Austin Powers, I don't even know what the joke is, to be honest with you. But I feel like that would be stretching. If I was a jury, I'd be like, this is what you're talking to me about? Like, you're here holding me up for this in the summertime for 2 months, and you're talking to me about a Mike Myers joke? Like, that is not anything factual. So we don't know. It could be, and anything could be used as evidence. Again, they're trying to paint Diddy out to be a bad person, a threatening person, etc., etc. So we'll see. We'll see. The next one is Dallas Austin, who is a songwriter in the Hall of Fame. And this I didn't know about, so I don't know if most of you knew, but Dallas Austin is a record producer, and he previously dated Diddy's late partner, Kim Porter, who was unalived in 2018 at the age of 47. Now, we all know about Kim Porter. We have talked about that at length. People feel like Diddy's responsible, etc., etc. From what I heard, y'all know that Al B. Sure is working on his memoir, and Al B. Sure says he has a bunch of evidence against Diddy. I heard that Dallas Austin also might come and testify again as somebody who was dating one of Diddy's exes, and the things and the threatening things that he used to do to them. Al B. Sure has said a lot. He's writing a whole book about it. Another male who's in the industry against Diddy again shows not only is he threatening towards women and the people in his freak off, etc., he's also that way with men. He's very dangerous. Keep him off the streets. He needs to go to jail. So that's, from what I've heard, is the addition of Dallas Austin. The next one, Dawn Richards, who we know about her already. Dawn Richard was a member of the girl group Danity Kane, which formed on Diddy's Making the Band reality TV show in 2005. She sued Diddy for SA and battery in September 2024, shortly before his arrest. Diddy denied her allegations in a statement via his lawyer, who said, Mr. Combs is shocked and disappointed by this lawsuit. In an attempt to rewrite history, Dawn Richard has now manufactured a series of false claims in hopes of trying to get a payday, conveniently timed to coincide with her album release and press tour. Okay, we all knew about Dawn. Next one is Michelle Williams, another one that everyone's talking about, but nobody has that much more details on it. Jurors were asked about Destiny's Child singer at the first day of jury selection. Now, I met Michelle, I think like 2 years ago, and I've had some DMs back and forth with her. I tried my luck. I DM'd her and I was like, yo, Michelle, what up? It's Trent. I met you at the mental wealth conference 2 years ago, whatever, blah, blah. We talked. Just want to know, whatever. And she literally just saw it and just didn't answer. I tried, but of course she's not going to answer me because she's not allowed to, right? So maybe after I may be able to get some more information from her, but right now she's being very tight-lipped, all right? So we don't know. If she does answer me, I will let you guys know. We'll just say allegedly. I actually know another one of her friends, and I'm supposed to be speaking to her later today, so we'll see. So next one is Kanye West. The controversial rapper released a song with Diddy in March, months after his arrest. All right, we all know about that. We've covered that on the show here, where Kanye put out the Sean John t-shirt. He had a song, and he's trying to help Diddy and give him back some money, or try to get him some money. Now, how this will tie in, from what I'm hearing, is almost kind of along the lines of like, look who he's associating himself with. Look at all the bad things that Kanye West is doing, and they've been friends for 10 or 15 years. Again, just trying to paint the picture to the jurors. Hey, Is this the type of guy that we want walking around on our streets, this multi-millionaire or billionaire, and look what he's doing. Look at what he's doing behind closed doors. Look at him and Kanye West from jail on FaceTime. Look what the things he's saying. Look at the things he's talking about, etc. So they just might use the past 4 or 5 months to just paint a picture. Again, I think that might be a little bit of a waste of time because everybody knows Kanye West just has antics, and I don't think jurors from New York and Manhattan is going to be really swayed by that. But hey, that's just my opinion. Kid Cudi, which we mostly know about, but for those who don't know, the rapper who dated Cassie during a break in her relationship with Diddy was also mentioned in Cassie's lawsuit. According to Cassie, Diddy became so angry when he found out she was dating Cudi in 2012. Around the time Cudi's car went, boom, in his driveway, read her lawsuit. Cudi's spokesman told the New York Times in November 2023 that Cassie's account of his car going boom was all true. Diddy, meanwhile, denies Cassie's accusations in a statement provided by his attorney. All right. That just looks horrible for Diddy, but I could just, as a defense attorney, I could just tear that up. Like, that could just be hearsay. Do you have proof? Do you know that Diddy had anything to do with that? Where's your proof, sir? All right, well, actually, you just don't like Diddy because you guys have beef over Cassie, right? Isn't that the case? Yeah? Okay, bye. Boom. He's discredited. So not a big deal. But again, they're just going to try to pile on as much as they can. Lauren London is another one that people are kind of like, hey, what's going on? And this says here, the actress says that Diddy was a great source of support for her after the 2019 unaliving of her longtime partner, Nipsey Hussle. Now, if you guys just do a quick Google search, you'll see that I think it was maybe the last year that Nip was around. Him and Diddy were working on something. I Googled it yesterday and I forgot. I don't know if it was an album or they were doing something. And there's a lot of video of them together. I'm not too sure how they're gonna tie Lauren in, but anyways, I don't want to rush and say just I don't want to be wrong, but it just could be something that Diddy and Nipsey were working on, and of course Nipsey's no longer here, so they're gonna put Lauren and attach her to it. But let me just give me a couple of more days to research it because I don't want to give you guys any wrong information, but it's in a negative light. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, so that's it for the list. If there's any other names that come out, of course, I will let you know, but we already have some heavy hitters. Now, another thing that I've been hearing just quickly about celebrities is, remember I told you guys on Monday that a few expert lawyers were saying that because there's no like celebrity sex tapes and we all in the public, including the jurors, thought there was going to be so much Hollywood tapes and Hollywood people and LeBron James was going to be implemented and Jennifer Lopez, and everybody thought this is going to bring Hollywood down. The fact that the prosecution has come out and has told us there's no other celebrities, there's no sex tapes with celebrities, that it's kind of like making the case a little bit boring, and they're afraid that jurors are going to be like, dude, this is just Diddy with his girlfriends, and like, what's the big deal? So because of that, what I've heard is that prosecutions are going to try to bring in a lot of celebrity names to just add more glitter to the conversation and paint Diddy and celebrities in this light. As you know, most everyday people who have everyday 9-to-5s look at celebrities, some of them, in a negative light. It's like, you're a billionaire, you have all this and you have all that, and it kind of just frowned upon. The same reason why Beyonce is going through it right now, and Jay-Z, et cetera, et cetera. So from what I've heard is that the prosecution wants to bring in as many celebrities as they can just to paint this picture of this celebrity elitist lifestyle and the people who he hangs around with. So that's just what I heard is the strategy from the prosecutors. All right. Let me know what you guys think all about this in the comment section below. Our fourth lead story. Talking about celebrities, Smokey Robinson is the latest celebrity sued for SA by 4 former housekeepers. Smokey Robinson is being sued by 4 women who say they used to work for him, claiming he repeatedly SA'd and R-worded them during their employment. The suit was filed in Los Angeles Tuesday morning by 4 Jane Does claiming they used to work as housekeepers for the music star and his wife, Frances. The 4 accusers, who say they overlapped while working for Smokey and Frances, claim they were A-worded, SA'd multiple times, with the first alleged incident occurring in 2007. While there are a variety of allegations made against Smokey in the document, there is some consistency among the Jane Does, with all of them claiming Smokey would call them into his bedroom and other places while his wife was away from the house. Now, bear with me as I try to read this without saying the words. These women allege that Smokey Robinson would, try to have them do things to him. He did things with his fingers. And with his mouth area, with their mouth area, those are the things that he would ask for. And then R-worded them despite claiming they repeatedly told him no, according to the suit. The women claim Smokey would sometimes lay down a towel not to make a mess on the bed linens. At least 2 of the victims claim that he released some things of his fluids without any protection. They're suing Smokey Robinson for false imprisonment and SA and R-word, and they're seeking at least $50 million in damages. Smokey's wife of 23 years is also included in the suit, though the women are clear she never engaged in any of the alleged SAs or alleged R-word. Instead, they're suing Frances because they say that she knows about prior alleged SA misconduct Smokey committed and did nothing to prevent it from happening again. They also claim Frances created a hostile work environment, depriving them of meals and rest breaks. We've reached out to Smokey and Frances. So far, no word back. Okay, pretty crazy news. And literally, Richard Brand, Shannon Sharpe, Diddy, Smokey, who else? There's another person. Oh, The Game yesterday. He's like, I have never seen this. This is crazy. Now, a lot of people in the comment section are just not believing this. I feel like when there's a Jane Doe, people automatically feel like it's just a money grab. And according to the law, you can file as a Jane Doe and you want to keep your name out of the press. I don't think that's reason enough not to believe them. To me, it sounds plausible. It sounds believable. And I'm not going to just discredit somebody because they're filing under Jane Doe. I feel like I understand it. What seems a little hard, I think, to swallow is the fact that there's 4 of them and they're saying how like they kind of overlapped, and I'm hearing that some of them know each other. And it's like, if you know one and you know that that's happening to one, why do you continue to stay and go back? I think it's the 4. It's not like one woman that's like, hey, out of the 10 housekeepers, this happened to one of them. It's like the fact that they were all there at that time and it was all revolving. They all have the same experiences. I feel like that is what's making people find it a little bit hard to believe. But everyone's going to draw their own conclusion to these cases. We'll see. And of course, again, to be clear, this is not a criminal case. This is a civil case. They're looking for $50 million. Smokey Robinson is worth $150 million. If he settles for like $20 million, that's not the end of the world for him, and they each get $5 million. Of course, that's what people are going to think. We'll follow up on this if this turns into anything. Remember, when Cassie came out with Diddy, everyone was like, oh, it's just a money grab. He paid her off, and then look at what's happening. So that's why I don't want to rush to judgment and be like, oh, it's a Jane Doe, so it's fake. Now, on the flip side, look what happened to Jay-Z. It was a Jane Doe, and it turned out that it was false. So you never know. That's why I like just stay in the middle and just wait for the facts. Y'all know me. Where are the receipts? And we'll see if that comes out. And if we find anything, of course, we'll let you know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick Diddy news. Ring my bell. I only have one today. Our first quick Diddy story. Diddy's trial judge, I'll be watching 2 Angry Men podcasts, and y'all better not call prosecutors 6-pack of white women. Okay, this has to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard a defense attorney do. If I were Diddy, I would fire Mark Geragos. Like, this is ridiculous, and it's arrogant, and it's narcissistic. It's ridiculous. I know he's a big lawyer, but this is stupid to me. The judge in Diddy's criminal trial is issuing a warning to Mark Geragos over his public comments about the state and vows he'll be watching and listening weekly to his podcast, Two Angry Men. The judge called Geragos into his chambers on Tuesday on day 2 of jury selection for a tete-a-tete about the famed attorney referring to the federal prosecution team as a six-pack of white women during the last episode of his podcast he co-hosts with TMZ's Harvey Leving. Prosecutors alerted the judge to the comment, which they claimed violated court rules because Geragos appears to be consulting with Diddy's defense team. The rule bars prosecutors and attorneys involved in the trial from making public comments that could influence the jury. During the meeting, Geragos argued the Supreme Court has effectively said that defendants and their lawyers have a constitutional right to publicly defend themselves, and therefore the judge shouldn't gag attorneys connected to Diddy's defense. By the way, the judge squarely asked Geragos if he's advising Diddy in the case, and he would only say he talks to Diddy with great frequency. Anyways, the judge didn't disagree with Geragos' argument, but still reminded him certain comments are so outrageous they wouldn't be tolerated. For instance, a six-pack of white women. The judge essentially said if Geragos pulls a stunt like this again, he would be cited for contempt. Bottom line, the judge warned Mark Geragos about crossing the line on his Two Angry Men podcast, saying, I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be listening, all right? You have one more listener for your podcast. Thanks, Judge. It's available wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, so Mark, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Mark was got his fame defending Michael Jackson. He's done stuff for Chris Brown. He's done stuff for Diddy before. He is a huge, famous lawyer. And again, Tenny Geragos is his daughter, who's lead on Diddy's defense team. Now, although technically he is right, what have I been saying to you guys all last week and this week? It's all about feeling. It's all about emotion. You want the judge to be on your side. You want the jury to think that you're good people. You want to just come across. You're not fighting this case against AI. This is not 1 + 1 = 2. And the fact that Mark Geragos is doing all of this so that he could do a stupid podcast with Harvey from TMZ is ridiculous. If I were Diddy, I would tell Mark, I don't care how big you are, no more podcast, apologize to the judge, apologize to the prosecution for calling them a six-pack of white women, and say that you're never going to do it again, or get off of my team. That's what I would do. 1,000%. And I would put out a press release and say, Diddy is the one firing him, or Diddy is the one giving him the warning, so that people will hear about it. The jury is supposed to be sequestered, but the jury is not even sequestered yet because they haven't been picked. But they have been told not to listen to the media. But if you haven't even picked me yet, you don't think I'm going to still be on my phone and still be looking at stuff? So the jury hears about this and hear that Mark Geragos is just being ignorant, calling the prosecution a six-pack of white women, and then being like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. Because technically, the Supreme Court, I think it's a horrible, horrible move. They just had a win getting on this new female lawyer, and they do something like this. I just think it is such a horrible move. And like I said, I'm going to try to highlight all these small little things, because if you ask me, it's always the small little things that can make or break a case. Trust me. Anyways, let me know what you think about Mark Geragos in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to our real quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Kanye West storms off of Piers Morgan's interview after he misquotes the number of followers Ye has on X. Ye said, I'm not going to let you take inches off of my... All right, this is crazy. Just take a listen.
32 million followers. So you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not going to take inches off my dick, bro. Like, how many followers do I have?
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations. You're slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, okay, now you're not taking accountability. This is what you get for now. We can circle back when you can count.
Okay.
Now, for those who want to see the full interview, we've already posted this up on our Instagram blog page, formerly Out Loud, FORMALLY, to hear the full uncensored version. Now, while we can no longer be surprised over Kanye West, we know that he is just on a nosedive. He put out his album. It totally flopped. It sold 6,000 copies the first week. Like, it's over for him. And he's trying to do whatever he can to be relevant. You just have to blame Piers Morgan. And shout out to Piers Morgan. He's a YouTuber. He has a YouTube show. And y'all know I try to always support content creators, whether they're big or small. But Piers Morgan has interviewed Kanye West before. They've had this exchange back and forth before. If I'm not mistaken, I think he actually walked out on Piers before. But if you guys remember, it was like, who are you talking to, boy? Who you talking to, boy? I'm not even going to play the clip. But then he started calling Piers Morgan a boy. Piers Morgan was like, who are you calling a boy? So I'm just going to say, like, Piers Morgan is doing this for views at this point. Like, you knew that Kanye West was going to get upset, and you knew that he was going to walk out, and you knew people were going to talk about it. I know I'm still at fault, but this is starting to just be ridiculous. He told Kanye, you have 32 million followers on X. And Kanye was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, sorry, it was 33. Like, can you not, if you're going to stage something for views, can you not just stage something just a little bit more believable than this? A little weird. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our second quick story. All right, this is a weird one. Fans sue the NFL for $100 million over Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. Cites emotional distress and trauma? What? I want to file a lawsuit for the Kansas City Chiefs losing in Super Bowl this year. That was traumatic for me. What are you talking about? Anyways, this year's NFL drafts had many people tuning in. One of the draftees who garnered attention was Shedeur Sanders. As previously reported, the Cleveland Browns drafted him in the 5th round as the 114th overall pick. However, the whole process was a lot for one fan, and they have since filed a lawsuit against the NFL. Many people were surprised as Sanders was drafted in the 5th round. Now, one fan is suing the NFL for $100 million in punitive damages for the harm caused to the plaintiff and the impact of the NFL's actions on his emotional well-being, according to CBS News. In the document, the fan filed as Joe Doe. See? Once again, just Jane Doe, John Doe, Joe Doe. People will just not take, I mean, this is already a frivolous, crazy lawsuit to begin with, but not even filing in your own name. Like, what is your proof? Where are the receipts? Craziness. But like I said, I have a lot to sue over, man. There's a bunch of stuff in the NBA that's happening in these playoffs. I wanted the Clippers in. I want to sue the NBA that the Denver Nuggets won and they beat the LA Clippers, because I don't want Denver in. Boom, calling out my lawyer. And like I said, I wanted Kansas City to get a three-peat in the Super Bowl. It was very, very emotional for me, Super Bowl night. I was very, very sad. Boom, lawsuit. Calling my lawyers right now. Our third lead story. Halle Bailey and Burna Boy are all smiles as they flick it up last night. What is this? Halle Bailey posted up a picture of her and Burna Boy and put like singing like some song along with the picture. Now, for those of you who follow daily, you know how much I am a fan of Chloe Bailey, Haley's sister. And I'm such a big fan of Burna Boy. And when the two of them got together, when was it? I think like December or January. I was like, yes, I like this couple. I'm really a fan of this. And then it so happened that a couple of weeks later, he showed up with another girl. And then Halle was like, I think she unfollowed him. Then we saw her again in Nigeria, or was it Ghana? Anyways, again, out with him, and he was giving her gifts, and we're like, okay, maybe it was a little hiccup. She was even on the Breakfast Club and was like, oh, I don't want to say anything. We saw them back together, and then a week later, we saw him back with another girl. And then Chloe was like, yo, I'm done with him. What is Halle doing taking a picture with her sister's ex 2 times that did her dirty? What is going? If I find out that Chloe went back to Burna Boy, and I love Burna, like, just this is just me just doing my podcasting, I'll be very upset because I love Chloe, man. What is going on? Anyways, I'm too busy right now finding out stuff for you guys with Diddy. I didn't even call to find out if they were together or not or whatever. I don't know, but I can only think that Halle is doing, like, they're super close. I think Chloe's probably back with him. That's just going to be my guess, because Halle wouldn't do this if they weren't together again. Anyways, let's just go on. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, was super excited to get to this. All right, as you know, this is a very, very special comment of the day because it's our episode 500. And for those of you who don't know, in episodes 100, 200, 300, and 400, it's when I sit down and I talk personally and I give back to my daily listeners. Yesterday, I asked you guys to give me questions because I feel like I've talked about everything that I know about myself already. So I wanted you guys to give me questions so that we could dive a little bit more into me and the things that I've done and my personality, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a lot of very, very important questions to get to. Before I do, we have to shout out our sponsor, Aura, who sponsors the comment section and the Out Louders. All right. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, it is if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor, aura.com/Trent Out Loud to get a 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number and why your inbox is filled with spam, this is why. And my inbox is totally filled with spam. That was before I got with Aura, so shout out to Aura. I really hated that. And these weird, like, people calling my phone. Anyways, these companies, these horrible companies called data brokers, they sell your data and they do it without your consent, and they make billions to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. This is why I recommend today's sponsors to my family, friends, and Out Louders. Aura takes care of the hard part, automatically removing your information from these sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving your back door open. I love that line. With Aura, you get alerts if your personal information is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have US-based support around the clock, 24/7, if anything goes wrong. And the best part, if anything goes wrong, Aura includes a $5 million identity theft insurance protection. So you are protected no matter what, okay? You can try Aura for free right now with the link below for 14 days, or I'll put the QR code up. You could just click it here right now from your phone. In these 2 weeks, you will discover if your data has already been exposed or sold. That is the best part of this whole thing. This is what I got you guys. 14-day free trial. You install Aura, you do all the setup or whatever from this link. You got to use this link or this QR code. They'll do all the research in your phone and computer and find if you've had anything up until years back, from yesterday till years back, and discover everything and let you know and stop it for free. And then it's up to you if you want to continue or not. What more could you ask for? Make sure you sign up today. Do not go one more day on the web, on your phone or your laptop without having Aura. Trust me when I tell you, they are a lightsaber. For those of you who have never heard of Aura, they are the leader in digital security. They even used to be the logo name for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here is a picture of Anthony Edwards, and here is a picture of Karl Anthony Towns. They are the leaders. They are the best. Trust me, sign up. All right. All right, now let's move on to episode 500 and the questions. For those of you who didn't see yesterday's episode, I'm going to give you a quick little recap of the last hundreds episodes, episode 100, 200, 300, 400, where episode 100, I talked about my modeling, entertainment, and why I started podcasting. Episode 200, radio announcement. 300, deals that I'm working on. I tried to be inspiring. And 400, the day I went viral. Here is a quick clip of these past 400 episodes. Take a listen. Obviously, I wasn't going to use episode 100 and do a hot topic or a hot take. I wanted to use episode 100 to give back to the real core listeners. This episode 200, I'm using it to make a very, very special announcement. The Trent Out Loud podcast has signed on a new talk and music radio station. The Trent Out Loud podcast is on the radio, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Now for episode 300, I was kind of on the fence. I didn't know what to do. but I decided to do what I did in episode 100 and just talk to you guys. This episode is not going to be promoted. It's not going to be on my Instagram. This episode is literally just for like my day ones. So for episode 400, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a night with you. And it was a night that really catapulted this podcast to another level. We got breaking news that Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested. Me being one of the first shows on YouTube that had reported about Diddy woke up the algorithm for me. Yo, my curls were curling in episode 400. Yo, that's probably my favorite one yet. All right, let's try to top it with episode 500, okay? So the first question is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, "Hi, Trent. Jennifer, out louder from Texas. What up, Texas? My personal question is, I admire your steadfast belief in treating people, especially women and children, as equal. Do you have any idea how to impart these values to my son, whose father wasn't present most of his life? He's a great kid, and I hope I've taught him this, but I don't know. Love the show. Keep up the good work and transparency." All right, Jennifer, thank you so much, and thank you for the kind things you said about the show. So I thought about this, and I kind of have a hard time like articulating this, but I think it really boils down to my mom. And since I was a kid, my mom has always respected everybody. And I feel like kids emulate the things they see their parents doing. It's not so much what you tell your kids, it's more what they see from you and how you are as a person. So I feel like if you are like this, and I'm assuming you are, if you see that in me and like that, I'm assuming you're going to be that type of person. So I would just more kind of maybe like amplify it around your son. My mom always told me, no matter what I do in life, that she's going to love me and that she just wants me to be an honest, good, hardworking person. She said, "Trent, I want the best for you, but even if you're a garbage man, if you work at McDonald's, or if you work at the bank, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, whatever scale, whatever it is that you decide to do, just make sure you do it honestly and you respect the people around you." That's just the type of person my mother is. It doesn't matter who I brought home, any friend, any girlfriend or whatever. My mom has never told me that they don't like them, that she doesn't like them or anything. My mom is just a good, loving person. Sometimes almost a little too good. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm so like protective of her, because she's just so like open to everybody, and it kind of scares me. But like I said, the best way I think to answer this question is just show your son whenever you're around him that you are a good person and he should emulate that. One other thing that I would like to say is when I had my stores and I would go and do my store visits, whether it be in Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, or whatever, I always made it a point to talk to every single person at the store. And the feedback I always got as a boss, as a CEO, as an owner, was how much the cleaners, the stock boys, the entry-level positions, they're always like, "Yo, Trent always made me feel important." I would go in whenever I'm doing like market research or trying to find out why a store is slow or why something is not selling or whatever. I would always do a tour once a month. And not only would I talk to the store manager and assistant manager, of course, it's their store. They're in charge of the store, so I'd speak to them. But I would go and I would talk to everybody. I would talk to the sales people on the floor. I would talk to, like I said, entry level. And the best people to talk to, honestly, are the people who just got there. Like, how was your manager? How was your onboarding? How have you been treated? Whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And I just feel like when you include everybody, then the feeling across the entire company is just a good feeling. I don't know if that makes sense. So I make it a point to talk to everybody. It's beneficial as an employer, and it's beneficial for the people who's also in the work environment. Sorry, I went a little deep there, but I'm just trying my best to give you an answer. Okay. Next one is the BX Chef. What up? What was the defining moment when you decided to make a shift to creating the TOL podcast? And a piggyback question, was there a moment when you second guessed your decision to become a podcaster? Because this form of entertainment is so saturated, but you give us something different in the way you interact with your daily listeners. Okay, that is an excellent question because being a podcaster was definitely not my first choice. And I second guessed it, third guessed it, fourth guessed it, and for that exact reason, it was so oversaturated. I think there's 3,500 podcasts that start every week. Now, most of them don't get past 5 episodes, but podcast is so separated. Now, for those of you who have been around for a long time, you know that, or if you heard me say a bunch of times, I used to be an international model. I used to act. I used to be in the music industry. So I've always loved being in entertainment. I actually also started a YouTube channel oh my gosh, maybe 12 or 13 years ago, where I would put up inspirational quotes. But at that time, YouTube wasn't what it is now. Can you imagine if I would have kept on going? I'd be on my 13th year. It would be crazy right now. But I say all of that to say that I started podcasting because it's in the entertainment industry. And for me, I always love to entertain people. So it doesn't matter the facet of entertainment that it is. I like to inspire people. I like to make people think. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people feel empowered to live their truth. I feel my purpose in life is to be an example, to have people live their truth. That's the reason why I wrote my 2 books. And especially for the people who look like me. Now, podcasting was something, I'm trying to explain why I second guessed it. I second guessed podcasting because I don't really even listen to podcasts. I've told you guys that before. So that's why I second guessed it, third guessed, whatever. I actually talked about it even with my therapist and a friend of mine who I know that had a podcast. And it was actually not even my therapist. It was a friend of mine that has a podcast. And her name of her podcast is Talking Ish with P. And she was like, Trent, it is so simple. You already have a camera. You already have a microphone. I'm going to tell you how to record your first thing. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And you're going to push it all out. You are great. You put video, do it on YouTube. And I'm not taking no for an answer. Just do it. And I was like, okay, Paula, I'm fine. I will. And I did one. I was like, okay. I did 2. And I was like, okay. And then to make a long story short, but then again, these episodes, I don't mind being long-winded. If you guys go back to my first, second, third, or fourth episode, it wasn't talking about entertainment news or whatever. I was actually interviewing people. And the fact of me interviewing people once a week and then having to wait and the edit and they didn't like their hair and can you change this or whatever, I felt like it was holding me back and I was dragging my feet. And I think after maybe around 10 episodes, I started doing a weekly thing by myself where I was like, let me just talk about whatever is going on or whatever is trending. And that started to pick up traction. And it was just good for me because it was almost therapeutic for me because I need to be entertaining people. And throughout the progression, so I think it maybe started around episode 20 or 25, I was like, shoot, why don't I just do this daily instead of waiting for the whole week? So I used to just do one topic a day and the episode would be 7 minutes long. You know what I mean? It would just be whatever. And then I was like, hey, why don't I just do one lead story and then I'll do a couple of quick stories. And then we called it quick news. And I was like, hey, I want to do question of the day. And it grew into a show. And I say all that to say, I don't even really, it is called the Trent Out Loud podcast, as that's how it started, but it is really morphed into a show where I could be funny, where I could be serious, where we could do social discussion. And I feel like social discussion is the only time when it's really a podcast, when we're sitting down and having a discussion. So I'm very, very happy that I did it. But more than that, I'm happy that I've been able to morph the Trent Out Loud podcast into more than just your standard everyday podcast. And now it's become a show. And that's why I always tell everybody at the end, podcasters, thanks a lot for the download, but come over and watch it on YouTube. The videos, the pictures, the intro, and how the show is set up. It really is a show that I feel could live on TV, that's my podcast journey. All right. Thank you for the question. Again, sorry if I'm being long-winded, but one in every 100 episodes, this is when I have my time that I'm talking really one-on-one with you. This is the answer I would give you if you were literally right in front of my face. BX Chef, I'm a talker. All right, next one is Nicole. She says, hey, nephew, okay, I just recently joined your podcast. Reason I was detoxing on IG. Okay, what made you seek therapy? If it's not too personal, just curious, always been embarrassed to reach out for personal advice. Then now I'm 62 years old. Maybe it's too late. Asking for a friend, laugh out loud. It's Auntie Nikki. Stay blessed. And again, congrats. Okay, thank you so much for that comment. First of all, before I even answer that, please don't ever feel embarrassed about seeking professional advice. I don't care if you're 62 years old, 92 years old. It's never too late. Please do not ever think about that. And I'm going to tell you why I'm such a mental health advocate, and hopefully it will push you to start your mental health journey. Okay. I brought my book beside me because I totally answer that in this book. And I'm not talking about this because I want you guys to go out and buy it. It's pretty much not even available anymore anyways, because we've taken it off the market because I'm actually working on something, but I'll get to that. So to answer your question is I cannot fully answer that right now because I literally wrote 200 pages about it. And my first book is How Sneakers Saved My Life. And the second book is How Sneakers Ruined My Life, my entrepreneurial journey that shifted my mental health. When I was younger, there was something that happened that I had to go to therapy. Through 2 or 3 relationships, I went to couples therapy. So I've always been kind of into therapy, but really in 2018, that's when I really started getting very, very heavy into therapy and then becoming a mental health advocate. Now I'm going to show you the contents of the book. I'll put it up on the screen. And I'll just let you know to answer your question, and you'll know just by the contents. I thought it was funny. You could just, so how my book is written is each chapter has a segment about business and a segment about Trent. So my first book is like my life up until 2015. And then book 2 is 2015 to 2019. So 2015, the title is Thinking About Me. 2015, Thinking About Me. And then work-wise, Exclusivity, that was the name of the store. 2015, Sidelined by Nike. So in 2015, I had opened a bunch of stores. We were national. I was making a bunch of money. I was on top of the world. And something happened. I don't want to spoil it. And then I started like, I have to start thinking about me. And that's because Nike was making a shift. And I was like, I've all my life dreamt about having this and I have it. Nike kind of made a move and I was like, things could go bad after this move. I have to start thinking about my life and not thinking about just my success and thinking about money. 2016, the mansion was part of Trent, and then Exclusivity, the store. 2016, Adidas and Yeezy. Yes, there's a mistake in Yeezy, but it's Yeezy, Kanye West shoes. That was me buying my house of my dreams. And then Adidas and Yeezy brand did something. So it was another year of like, kind of weird. 2017, personal is polyamorous. And I know I'm not polyamorous. That's just a play on words for the to make a salacious chapter title. And then 2017, Tier 0. That is something that I felt like Nike was going to start doing, and they did. And they created a Tier 0. So I really wasn't feeling good for about 3 years. 2018, that's when I started going to therapy. I think it was a little bit in 17, but then 2018, the name is bipolar, and then Exclusivity is losing $2.23 million. I lost over $2 million in 2018. That sent me off the deep end. I actually stopped going to therapy. There was some, without getting too deep into it, I got a diagnosis of maybe having some traits of having some manic episodes and certain things. And I was like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm not going to do this. I got to go and save my company. And I just went through a very, very, very hard time. And then 2019, the Trent chapter is 2019, spiraling out of control. And then Exclusivity was days away from bankruptcy. So you could see from 2015, things were like, okay, little whispers of things might not be going so well. 2016, a little bit worse. 2017, what's going on? 2018, wow. 2019, horrible. So that is what made me go into therapy, was me almost losing every single thing I worked for. Now I end off this book, end off book 2 on a cliffhanger, and I cannot tell you that where I am working on book number 3. I'm definitely here to talk about it, so it wasn't that bad. But I actually signed, and I'm in a deal right now. I can't say anything about it, and there will be a book 3, and there will be more to the books. That's why they decided that they wanted to pull the books. It will be relaunched globally, and a lot more things will be happening with the book. All right. So I hope I've been able to tell you a little bit how I found it without telling you everything. One thing I could tell you is that I didn't file for bankruptcy. I didn't lose my house. And because I do end off book 2, although it's a cliffhanger, like I was just like, hey, I was able to save my company. I didn't have to file for bankruptcy. I didn't lose my house. I didn't lose anything, actually. But it was a major, major, huge awakening in my life, being at the rock bottom, days away from losing every single thing that I've ever worked for and never dreamed of. And then getting it back, knowing how something like that can happen to you, I totally changed my life, which brought me here to this podcast and to get back into entertainment. So that's just a little hint about what book 3 and whatever stuff I'm working on. Thank you very much for that, Auntie Nicole, or Aunt Nicole. Next one is Fluid Inspiration. Hey, Trent, Nikki. Oh, here we go. Nikki. Nikki from Seattle. Congrats on 500th episode. Congrats on the 500th episode. My question is there anything in your life you would change if you could go back? And if so, what would it be? All right. I get this question a lot if I'm at talks or whatever, and I hear people say it all the time, and they're like, well, I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be who I am today. And I know it sounds super cliche, but I honestly, 100,000%, I'm telling you, I would not change one thing. I think about it all the time, and I'm like, I wonder if I didn't stop acting, if I would be a huge actor right now. Or I wonder if I didn't stop modeling, where I would be. I would. But you honestly cannot think that, because I could be a struggling actor and have nothing and just be a struggling actor. Or I could be whatever it is in modeling or with the stores or whatever. And the reason why I wouldn't change anything, and this is really the heart of the answer, is that you learn through ups and downs. This is, by the way, why I like doing these episodes, because I love talking about these things. You learn through ups and downs, through making millions of dollars to losing millions of dollars to making back millions of dollars. You learn that life is very, very simple. And the things that you need in life really have nothing to do with money, your job, there's such simple things that you need to be happy that it really doesn't matter what you changed. And I know now, if I would become an actor or not become an actor, if I would have had 1,000 stores or 2 stores, or if I have a Joe Rogan level podcast, I know now that none of that stuff means anything. And that like family means things, and love means things, and I mean things, whether I'm a billionaire or whether I'm broke. Therapy and life teaches you that all you need is you. And the fact that you're just alive, walking to the park and breathing in fresh air, that's all you really need. So I wouldn't change anything in my life, because I'm here now. And any changes that you would make shouldn't have really changed anything, because you get to be here. And that's just the beauty of life. And I hope everybody gets that and understands that. All right. The next thing is from Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, hi, Trent. I love your show and I do watch daily. Thank you very much for that, Elizabeth. I'm a cancer patient and I'm a caretaker of 2 adult autistic children. You make me laugh out loud every broadcast. Just wanted to say thank you and keep up the great work. I'm Elizabeth from Pennsylvania. Elizabeth, thank you very much for all of that. That is super heartwarming. I know you have a question coming up, but I wanted to read that just to go back to literally what I was talking about before. That's priceless. The fact that my show could help somebody laugh out loud and watch daily and make them feel good, that means more to me than any business or any career. Do you understand what I mean? Anyways, let's go to Elizabeth's question. Oops, I forgot my question. I would love to know what products you use in your beautiful curls. I'm a curly girl and I'm always on the hunt for good products. Okay, I'm so mad I forgot to bring the conditioner that I use. Okay, people are so shocked when I tell you this, and I'm telling you this is the truth. I use 0 products in my hair. I kid you not. I have tried so many different things. Oh, put this gel or put this mousse or put this product. And you go to like the black hair store. You use this oil, you use that. I use nothing. Okay, yes, I know my hair is braided right now because I went to Atlanta. But normally when you guys see me, I literally go in the shower, wet my hair. And the one thing I do, which is something that you're not supposed to do, is I literally take like, I don't know, a half of a palm or just a little dot of conditioner, and I put conditioner in my hair, and I don't wash it out fully. Like I just wash it like halfway out, like maybe leave 75% in there, and I don't touch it. I don't dry it. I don't towel dry it, nothing. Yes, it drips. So I literally take the towel and like drip the curls a little. Sometimes when you see me like at the start of the show, you maybe see like one little like wet drop that's coming. If you look carefully, I've seen it sometimes after, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't believe I missed that. But that's literally just it. I've tried everything else, and yes, it works, but I feel like my curls are the best, just natural. That's literally my answer. Believe it or not, no products. Thank you very, very much for that comment. The next one is Charlene. Trent, I truly enjoy your podcast. Congrats on 500 episodes. My question is, you always seem to be so upbeat and jolly. Are you ever sad or down? Your attitude and demeanor is infectious. Keep up the good work. Here's to the next 500 plus episodes. May it be as amazing as you are. God bless. Charlene from Beaumont, Texas. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Please forgive me. I Googled it and that's what it said. So very, very good question. And I have a very interesting answer. So I am human. Sometimes I do get sad and down. And I literally just told you guys about a part of my life that was very, very dark. However, almost every single person, even in my family, that I gave the first draft of my book to was like, wow, we had no idea that you were going through this. Of course, I told my family, hey, I have to close some stores, or hey, I have to do this or whatever, but I never got into like how dark it was. And the reason, and I learned this, I didn't even realize this about myself, is I was thinking like, was I hiding it from them? Because they never hide anything from my family, and I don't lie to my family, my immediate family, right? People are associates, it's none of their business. But my immediate family, my mom, my sister, never. My niece and nephews. But the thing about me is I am overly ambitious, and I am overly confident, not cocky. I want to make that clear. I've Googled the difference. I'm very, very confident, but not just in myself. I'm just confident in life, period. And that's why I say, like, I feel like my purpose in life is to encourage everybody to be great, because I feel like everybody has the ability to be great. That's why when I say how confident I am, and it's not cocky, is because I'm confident in everybody. I don't care who you are. I tell everybody, I feel like everybody could write a book. Everybody has a story. You make it to adulthood, that's a story. You went through trials and tribulations, like, that's a story. So I believe in humanity. I believe in people. And not to bring this into politics, that's why I'm in the middle, because I see greatness in everybody and I see beauty in everybody. And because my mind is wired that way, even when I'm at my lowest, I don't go through my day at my lowest. I remember being with like my finance team, going and sitting down with trustees and bankruptcy lawyers and waking up being like, man, we have 15 more days before we're totally done. Calling landlords, being like, hey, can I not pay you this month? Hey, can I do this? Calling the bank, doing this. Like, I had huge amounts of pressure. Like, my leases altogether were close to like $500,000 a month, payroll. But through all of that, even in meetings, I'd be like, what up, everybody? Yo, it's Friday. Yo, the weekend is here. The same way how I am with you guys. Or, hey, it's Wednesday. Like, and they'd be like, Trent, you might be having to file for bankruptcy. And while, yes, some nights were hard and some days were hard, I knew that even if I was to succumb to the surroundings and bankruptcy and all of these things that I was going through, I knew that I would still have me. Like, even if I'm out on the street one day, like, I'll always have me, and that is all that I need, and I'll be okay. And I feel like everybody should feel that way, because you always have you to bounce back on and start another store or start another podcast or start another thing or whatever. So while, yes, I'm human, I do get sad sometimes, or I do get depressed or whatever, it's really not long lasting, because I'm so optimistic just about life and just about the world and that we live in. I'm optimistic about humanity. So why waste your time in the dark side, right? Anyways, hope that answers that question. All right. Billie Jean, I've read a couple of Billie Jean's comments before. Congratulations on the big 500. Let's keep them coming. First off, thank you for making me an official Out Loud member on my last post. I feel very proud. Welcome, Out Louders. My question for you is, what is the most emotional episode you've had to do and why? Sending love from Cozumel, Billie Jean. All right. When I saw this, I had to think, like, I think episode 100, because that was the first time I was like being like raw and unfiltered and talking about me. Like I said, the first 10 episodes, I was interviewing people, from like business, from the bank. I interviewed somebody that worked at a jail. I interviewed a cancer survivor, whatever. So, and then I talked about news. So I never really got to talk about me except for episode 100. I was like, hey, by the way, this is who I am and what I'm about. I think I got a little emotional in that episode, if I'm not mistaken, because I was just really happy that I was able to fulfill my first original dream in life, and that was to be in the entertainment industry. And I think making it to 100 episodes, because I promised myself, like, no matter, I don't care if one person listens, I don't care if nobody listens, I am going to do a podcast and I'm going to get to 100 episodes. That was my promise I made to myself. And trust me, I maybe had like 5 people. There was like maybe 5 downloads a day, and on YouTube there was maybe like 50 or 60 viewers. So there was really nobody watching, but I didn't care. So because it was like a full circle moment, I was like, hey, I accomplished something that I've always dreamt of. I think that was a little emotional for me. And for those of you who don't know, like, my dream in life is to be in the music industry. Like, that's why I sing so much on the podcast, and I don't care that I can't sing, and I'm such a music lover. Since I was a teenager, I just feel like music is like one of the most beautiful gifts that the world has ever given us. And I love music, and it's always been my dream to be in the music industry. And I was a manager, and I only managed because I couldn't sing or I couldn't rap. Trust me, I tried to sing, as you guys know. I tried to rap. It was horrible. So I'm like, let me just try to be around. And I was very good at managing. I was good with money. I was a good people person. And that didn't work out, because every time we went somewhere, people thought I was the artist. And then my artist would be like, yo, you feel like you're outshining me. But I was just being Trent when I walked into a room. But I have a big personality. So I got out. I say all of that to say, because it was always been my first dream, and ever since I've given up that dream, I've always tried to find something in entertainment to just attach myself onto. So I think my 100th episode, finally being able to be like, I'm here, even though nobody watched it, it felt good, and I got a little emotional. So that was, I think, my most emotional episode. Don't go back and watch it, because it was pretty bad. Like, my first like 100, 200 episodes were like, my reading was horrible, throwing my voice, doing what? Like, I'm so much better now. So anyways, Next one is from Pop Sims. You know I could not go without reading something from our homeboy, Pop Sims. Trent, my question for tomorrow, which is today, would be if you had to be a Democrat or a Republican, which one would you be and why? Pop Sim from the west side of Los Angeles, California. West side! I have to like west side. All right, what up, Pops? You had to give me a difficult question, eh? And I hate not answering people's questions. And I didn't want to put too many thought into these questions when I was getting them because I wanted to be very raw. But I did think about this for 2 seconds. And please don't be mad at me for not answering, but I really would never choose to be one or the other. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I don't like government, period. Like, I don't trust the government. Like, I don't. There's so much negative in politicians, right or left. I just couldn't ever see myself choosing a party. I just really, really, really couldn't. And I feel like there is really good in the Republican Party. If you go back 100, 200 years, there's a lot that the Republican Party has done that's good, different from the MAGA Party that we know today. If you go back to the Democrat side, there's a lot that the Democrats have not done good in the past and that has done good more in this new era. So I hate not answering a question, but I don't want to just say one just for the sake of saying one, because that it really wouldn't be true. So as much as I never not like to answer questions, there is not an answer for this. I would choose whatever the alternative is. Like, you just have to just not choose, or whatever it is you lose, then I lose. I have to stay in the middle. I have to be independent. These parties are too extreme. They're too hot and cold. They're two polar opposites for me to stay in that one zone. I hope that's okay, but thank you for your question. All right, next one, Linda, my BFF Linda. Of course, you know I had to take a comment from Linda. Linda said, why do you not have merch? and why have you not answered my DM on my idea for merch? Okay, Linda. I love Linda so much, man. Linda loves me so much, and I love her so much, but she's still super hard on me. If you hear in the comments, yo, whatever, Trent, you're not a Republican or you're not an independent. You drag Trump all the time. Like, I love how hard she is on me, but then loves me at the same time. Love Linda. So Linda, yes, has been talking to me about merch. And by the way, Linda, I don't know if I said this. I did answer your DM. Check it. I think you DM'd me on Formally Out Loud, because I did answer you on Trent Out Loud, but I answered you on both. So just check your DMs. So I used to make a bunch of merch for my store. You guys see me sometimes with my hat, my Exclu hat. So I think it definitely would be cool to work on some Trent Out Loud, or especially Out Louders merch. But just like with my store, and just a quick recap for those who don't know, I started my store selling clothes out the trunk of my car to kids in high school. And then I went on to having a store in a basement of a tattoo parlor, and then had my first brick and mortar location, and then had a national brand. I say all of that to say, I like to do things slow and gradually. And the podcast just went viral, like whatever, in September with this whole Diddy thing. And I feel like all of this is new. And I really just want to focus in on you guys, giving you guys a great daily podcast, and really just honing in and building the community. And then once we have that build and establish and etc., and I know what I am doing, then we will start branching out. It took me years before I did any apparel for the store. So love you, Linda. Thank you. And I do like your ideas. And I will at one point. I'm just working really hard right now on giving you guys great content and a great podcast and building the community. And then we'll branch out and we'll do a lot of stuff because I'm experienced in it, and I'll bring you guys some good stuff. All right. Thank you, Linda. Love you. I think it's me, myself, and I. Yeah, me, myself, and I. Me, myself. Anyways, me, myself. Anyways, in an inspirational context, the number 500 is often associated with courage, strength, and a valiant spirit. I'm feeling that for what I see of you. You're awesome and congratulations. I wish you many more. Let's go. Thank you very much. I know it's not a question in there, but I thought that was really nice. So thank you very much. I know you mostly comment every day. Next one is Lamies. I know you've told me how to pronounce your name before. I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong. But anyways, Lamies, what up? Commenting every day, all the time. Love you. Lamies said, congratulations on getting to episode 500. Question. You made jokes in various episodes about different female celebrities being your baby mama and sliding into your DMs. Tiana Taylor and Janet Jackson. Don't forget Serena Williams, all right? That's baby mama number one. Which indicates that you don't have a specific type. So what is it that you're looking for in a woman? All right, before I answer that, there's also 2 other comments that you made. Secondly, what tips can you share to your female out louders on red flags to spot earlier on so we can run before it's too late? And lastly, is there an audio version of your book? All right, so let me answer this backwards. There is not an audio version, but like I just said earlier, we're working on something. I just signed a deal. They'll be re-released. There'll be an audio version and more. Okay, so that's 1. 2, red flags for women. I say this a bunch of times to girls. Any man that sends you a picture, I would say run. Like any guys that's taking those kind of pictures or even selfies, like just run. That's a red flag, block and run away. It's very hard to say what red flags are because I feel like everybody is different. But the only advice I could give for me is, and I think you guys have heard me say this already, I feel, my opinion, men that buy you things or that buy you things very early and try to woo you with things like that, generally, those are the guys that are players. Because it's super easy to spend a couple $100 to make you feel special. It takes no time. The men that actually take time, like, hey, I want to sit down and talk to you and have a conversation with you for hours on end. When you can have conversations with people and you don't know the time is going by, that is a very green flag. And when you don't have that, that is a red flag. And that's how I am with me personally. If I can't talk with a girl, that is my I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but that's the 4 thing. You know how they talk about play there? Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. That is what gets me going, is the conversation. Even if it's like in the beginning or like a text message or whatever, like that banter and that back and forth. I actually talk about that in my book, actually, because that is something that money can't buy. You know what I mean? So like me showing up and not really having a lot of time, but like buying you roses or buying you flowers and buying this or taking you to an expensive dinner. And it's like, it's only like, I only have like an hour and then, let's go. And I feel like that are the red flags. That's why my love language is quality time, because if you're really into me, then time shouldn't be of any problem. It should not be the essence, right? Anyways, last one here, you said, what type of girl am I into? And I think I kind of just answered that indirectly. I don't necessarily have a type. I feel like, I think I've said this before. I have a friend of mine that he has a type. He likes Asian women or any other girl that looks like Asian women, 5 feet tall, 110 pounds, skinny, and any other woman other than that, he's like not interested in. And I'm like, how or why would you want to live your life so closed off to just that? You know what I mean? Like, I have been with every different type of woman you could imagine. Every different race, every different body type, tall, small, short, medium, big, slim. It does not matter to me because I am a vibe person. I'm an energy person. I need to have that connection with somebody. Of course, there are certain body types that I'm more attracted to than others, 1000%. And I'm a more of a body guy and less of a face guy. If that is maybe some insight for you, where, okay, not to get like too deep into anything, but I just feel like there's more to I don't know how to say this. I just feel like somebody's face is kind of like irrelevant in intimate moments. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I'm a touchy-feely type of guy. So I feel like bodies are more attractive to me, if that's anything. But ultimately, I really don't prioritize that. And I think yesterday in social discussions, or maybe it was Monday, I really spoke about a type of girl that men should pick for one night and the type of girl who you should pick as your wifey. And I feel like that's why there's such a high divorce rate and relationships don't work. And 1000%, I really don't care when it comes time to pick a wifey, somebody who I'm going to be married to, a serious relationship. That doesn't matter. It's really more about the person. So I'm getting very long-winded, but like I said, that's what these episodes are about. All right. The next one is Crystal. Crystal says, I have Aura and they are fantastic. I had to slide that in. Shout out to Aura. By the way, Aura, we started talking with Aura because of episode 500, right? I was like, hey, I want to do something for episode 500. I want to give something back to Out Louders. And they were like, hey, we've actually watched your show. We did work together in January. It's like, hey, we want to do something daily. So shout out to Aura. Thank you for believing in me, and already people are liking, signing up. Again, continue to send me all like your feedbacks and everything that's going on. I think this is the last one. Somebody sent me this DM on Instagram. Lakeisha asked and said, hey, Trent, I have a personal question. While awaiting year one, how long will you wait and how will you know? I think you'll just know. I've talked to enough people about love and about relationships and about successful, I'm going to have to bleep that out, successful relationships. And they just knew. I don't think that's anything that you could like predict. But I have said before, I will definitely wait as long as I have to. I am not going to just be with somebody for the sake of being with somebody or have children with somebody for the sake of having children with somebody. I just will not do that. I'd rather just be alone. So, all right, that is it. Thank you so much for all the comments. That's all I got as the time I was recording this. I'll go back and I'll check if there's any other ones and I'll answer them quickly tomorrow because I don't want any of them to go unanswered. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Just wanted to tell you something quickly. I had planned something a little bit bigger for episode 500. This hat that I was wearing in the beginning is literally, it says New Year's. So if you guys are like, hey, or expect a little something more, I wanted to do something a little bit more. But because of the whole Diddy trial, I was going to do something. I'm not going to tell you guys because I'm still going to do it one day. But because of the Diddy trial, literally, you guys, I'm like working from 6 a.m. till like 12 at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I am watching everything. I am researching. I'm doing so much. I just didn't have enough time. I still was going to do this, still answering the question and talking to you guys. I was just going to do something a little bit more extra. I'm going to save it for episode 1000. All right. So make sure y'all stick around. More importantly, thank you guys so much. I think you can tell from this answering these questions how much I love doing this and how happy that I am that I have an audience and that you guys named yourself the Out Louders. That is the best for me. It's really not about the views. I go days without looking at views and those other things. Just the connection that we have has been amazing. And I'm so happy that I'm able to share this 500th episode with you guys. And I hope you stick by me throughout this journey because we're not going to stop. We're going to episode 1000 and beyond. Thank you guys so much. And thank you again to Aura. I'm so blessed to have a full daily sponsorship by my 500th episode. This was one of my goals to get after my 500th episode. So ironic that I literally got it like a few days. I'm going to put up the QR code once again. If you guys want to go and sign up, let me know all your feedback. Thank you, Aura, for believing in me and the support and everything. By the way, when you are signing up, somebody told me, they sent me a picture. It says, where did you hear about this podcast? And then it's like, tell me the specific podcast. And they tried to write Trent Out Loud and it dropped and it just went blank. I spoke with them. That's just a glitch. You do not have to write Trent Out Loud. Thank you for writing that. But the fact that you're using my link, they know that it's me and they know that you got there from me. So I will get the credit for it. So do not worry about that. Okay. Anyways, Thank you once again. Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you guys for all the support. If there's any more questions that I missed, I'm very, very sorry. I will answer them tomorrow. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much. Let's go on to social discussion. I feel like now I don't even want to go on to social discussion. I want to just keep on talking about this with you guys. But anyways, let's go on. Thank you guys. Love you. Out louders. All right. This brings us to social discussion of the day. TV host Joy Taylor says she's not interested in dating a man of God. She says, if that's the first thing that you bring to the table, it's a red flag for me. Talking about red flags. We just talked about that in comments of the day. Take a listen to Joy.
What else is non-negotiable for you?
I'm less and less interested in religious men, if I'm being honest with you. If that's the first thing that you bring to the table, it's a red flag for me.
Okay, as you guys know, I've told you repeatedly, I watch Pop the Balloon every weekend. It's like my weekend binge. And on Pop the Balloon, I would say at least 90 or 95% of the people there say, their deal breakers are, if you're not a man or a woman of God, they're looking for somebody who is Christian and religious. I feel like a lot of people say that. Now, even if that is something that you're looking for, or the majority of people are looking for, is that a red flag? Should that be a red flag? Now, in the interview, she goes on to say that she's had bad experiences and people use religion or use God to as excuses, and they're not necessarily, like, she goes down a rabbit hole and she's had bad experiences. So I can understand if the last two people you were with, they came, they're like, I'm a man of God or a woman of God, and you had bad experience. I can understand. But it's still not fair to just throw it out there as a red flag. And what I wanted to bring up in social discussion is, are we getting to a point in society where there's just too many things that are red flags? I feel that I'm hearing that a little bit more often, just with like people who I'm speaking to. They're like, oh, I saw this person. Oh, that's a red flag. And oh, this is a red flag. And I feel like as a society, men and women are like, I understand that we have to protect ourselves, but my question is are we reading too much into the first 5 or 10 things that come out of someone's mouth, and they're just waiting to be like, what? Red flag. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, did you see his tooth? Yeah, red flag. Oh, his shoelace is dirty. Red flag. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, her handbag is Chanel. Oh, red flag. You know what I mean? I just feel like we need to calm down a little. Just chill. Like, we cannot just be walking around stereotyping everybody all the time. And I get that some of it comes from past experience. Everybody is guilty of stereotyping, especially if somebody's hurt you or whatever. I get it. But do y'all think that we're reading a little too much into these red flags? If you ask me, I think it's starting to be a problem, and everybody needs to calm down a little. Let me know if you've had any red flags recently, and if you are maybe guilty of this too, where you feel like you're a little bit rushing to judgment too much and you're not giving people a little bit more leeway. Like, let humans human. Give people a little, it doesn't mean you have to give yourself to them, but just give yourself a little bit more time. Give them a little bit more opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. Who is your favorite shady TV character of all times? Okay, this is gonna be funny. I hate when people put memes, because you know how bad I am with names. The Fresh Prince, the Fresh Prince butler. Is it Jeffrey? I think it's Jeffrey. Jeffrey on the Fresh Prince. He's not shady. Is Jeffrey shady? No, he's not shady. This is not going to be good. This is the girl with the braids from Living Single. Is it Pam? I think maybe it might be Pam. She was a little shady. Shanae on Martin. She was definitely shady and definitely a fun character. This one is from the Golden Girls. Damn, I don't know who's who. Was it Branch? I don't even remember what Betty White's character name was. Branch and it's bad. I hate when people put memes. Somebody put Jerome from the Martin Lawrence show. Jerome in the house. Jerome's in the house. Hilarious. Lorenz Tate on Power. What was his name on Power? Was it Governor Tate? Maybe it was Tate. The guy from You. I'm actually watching the final season of You right now. Nobody tell me in the comment section. I think I'm on like episode 3. I don't even remember his name in the show. Isn't it Joe? I think it's Joe. Anyways, the guy from You. He is totally shady, but such a good character. Batman. Batman's not shady. He's a good guy. Tupac's character from Juice. Oh, what was his name in Juice? And the meme is him right at the, when he closes his locker at school and then Tupac is just right there. I really don't remember. All right. Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Was she a shady character? Let me see the question here again. Your shady TV character. I don't feel like Hillary was shady. Ghost from Power. Okay, Ghost is a little shady. I got you. Nino in New Jack City. Definitely shady. Okay, this is the best. Dexter. Dexter was fully shady, but such an amazing character. By the way, I'm late on Dexter. I literally just watched Dexter like 6 months ago. People were like, oh, it's so good, you have to watch it. And I was like, I don't like it. I watched one episode, I didn't like it. Then I'm like, oh, let me watch the second. And I tried one time, I was like, I'm stuck. I need to watch the show. Watch Dexter. Oh my gosh, love it. If you have not watched Dexter, first of all, it's amazing for binging time because I think there's like 8 seasons. It's so good. Shout out to Dexter. This is the guy from Prison Break, that like weird guy. That was super good. Tariq St. Patrick, he's a little bit shady. Let me see. No, I don't even know who that is. Keanu Reeves. Tony from Girlfriends. Tony wasn't shady. 50 Cent from Power. What was 50 Cent's? Kanan. He was a little bit shady. Nene Leakes. Tommy from Power. He was shady. Louis Litt from Suits. Was he shady though? He was hilarious. They shot that in Toronto. I don't know if you guys know. The Rock. Was The Rock shady? I think when he went to NOO, was that the WWF and NOO? Anyways, I'm not a big wrestling fan. Somebody else put Nene, and that was it. All right, that was a good one, man. All right, let me know if you guys agree with any of them, or let me know if you forgot any really good shady characters. I feel like good shady characters make a good show. Like you need that for sure. I would say a shady character is the wife in Handmaid's Tale. Woo! Crazy. Of course, I don't remember her name because I don't remember anyone's name. Let me know your answer to the question of the day in the comment section below. All right, so this brings us to sports news. All right, I'm going to talk about today and yesterday. Depending on when you're watching this, it might be a little confusing. But as of now, yesterday's games, the Pacers beat the Cavaliers. They're up 2-0. Totally did not predict this. However, and I watched this game in full. If you watch the Pacers game, everything went right for the Pacers in the last 10 or 15 seconds. They should have lost that game. The series should be tied at 1-1. Now, Cleveland lost the first one. Like all the people that won, all the teams that won are like almost like swept in the first round. They were a little bit cold. So I get the Pacers winning game 1, but game 2, they had a steal, they had an inbounds that they stole, there was a block, like everything went right. I'm not convinced that the Pacers are going to beat the Cavaliers. If anything, I feel like they might go now to the Pacers home court and beat them 2 games in a row, and that series would be tied 2-2. But shout out to the Pacers. That was a great game. The Warriors beat the Timberwolves. So that series, the Warriors are leading 1-0. Again, those are both my teams. Ant Edwards, he's 23 years old. He has enough time. Steph Curry, Jimmy Buckets. I need Jimmy to win a championship. I love that series. So go Warriors. And it was so boring. I didn't even watch the rest of the game. And then now tonight, the Knicks play the Celtics. Knicks lead that 1-0. Again, I thought that was just a lucky win. I feel like Boston is going to win. And the last game is, I just lost it. The last game tonight is, oh, Lord. Sorry, guys. The last game tonight. Come on. Denver and Thunder. Again, I feel like Denver beat OKC just because OKC just was a little bit rusty. I feel like the series will be tied after tonight, 1-1. Let me know who you guys are going for in the playoffs, who's going to make it to the conference finals and the finals. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, y'all. That is a wrap on episode 500. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. Great episode. Hold on, let me... we made it. Wow, man. Really, really fun episode. Love y'all, man. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I know it was a little bit of a longer episode than normal, but I wanted to get through everyone's questions. Thank you. This does not happen. This does not exist without you guys. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, anybody that asks any other questions, I will follow up and I will try to get them in tomorrow's episode. I can't thank you guys enough, man. I don't even want to end the episode. Seriously, I just don't even want to end it. I wish I could run it like 4 hours long and keep talking to you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the downloads on podcast channels. Love it, man. As you guys know, of all of that, I love the comments the most because it gets, I get the feedback of if you guys are liking what I'm saying, if you're not liking what I'm saying, just the emotional roller coaster. Hey, I like this. I'm having a bad day. You helped me get through this day. I remember one comment was like, hey, I only listen to your podcast at the gym, and you on days when I'm sitting down on my couch, I don't want to go to my gym. I'm like, man, I have to hear what Trent says today. So I get him off the couch and gets to the gym. Like things like that are just amazing to me. So thank you guys so much. All right. Before I let you go, I just have to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching the show on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or in the car, you don't have access to internet, we're available on all podcast platforms. So you can download us and take us with you. Just go to any podcast platform, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. Now, vice versa, for those of you who are used to listening and downloading on podcast platforms, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. However, we want you to come over to YouTube and hang out with the Out Louders. It's such a vibe over here. The comment section is lit. Trust me, come over here, all right? Just head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. A couple of housekeeping rules. You got to hit that subscribe button. That gives you entry into the Out Louder family. Please hit the like button. It gets the algorithming. And like I just said, most importantly, please comment. If you don't want to weigh in on questions or subjects, just write, hey, Trent, listening from here. It's a global podcast. We're building a community. We want to let everybody know where you're from, all right? And if you don't comment, I'm literally just talking to myself. And this is a podcast for me and you. For those of you who are really enjoying the show and you want to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, please do so because that helps in growing the channel. We appreciate y'all. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud, and I'm the most active on Instagram. Talking about Instagram, we recently started a new blog page, very small, nothing too special yet, but that's where we kind of post the videos that we have to edit or we can't play the whole thing. We'll post them over there on Formally Out Loud, FORMALLY. We'll post it over there so you guys can see in its entirety, all right? So you could follow me on Instagram over there, or the show over on Instagram over there. All right, that is it. Again, thanks to Aura. I'll put up the QR code one last time. Put your phones to this. Sign up. Follow that link. Let me know what they find on the 14-day free trial. Let me know how great it is, how great it's working. We have amazing feedback. A lot of people are finding out a lot of things and are really happy with it. Let me know. All right, guys. I know I'm being redundant, but thank you. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 501. Peace. We made it, y'all. Welcome to episode 500. Woo! Yeah! 500! Hey! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!